Welcome back, students. In order to explain the structure of the nucleus, different nuclear models have been proposed. So in that, first we will study liquid drop model. The first nuclear model that is for your syllabus is liquid drop model. So this model was proposed by Niels Bohr. The liquid drop model was proposed by Niels Bohr in the year 1937. So in the liquid drop model, the forces that are acting in the nucleus, are assumed to be analogous to the molecular forces that are present in the liquid drop. The forces that are acting in the nucleus are assumed to be analogous to the molecular forces that are present in the liquid drop. So Niels Bohr, he had made a certain marked similarities between the nucleus and liquid drop. So there are certain similarities between the liquid drop and the nucleus, and this model aim is to give the structure of the nucleus. So now we will study what are the similarities between the nucleus and the drop of the liquid one by one. So first similarity is both the nucleus and the drop of the liquid, they contain large number of particles. If you take liquid drop, then it is having number of molecules are present in the liquid drop. So it is having number of particles, means number of molecules will be there in the liquid drop. If you come to the nucleus, means nucleus is having large number of nucleons. Nucleons means protons and neutrons together is called as nucleons. Number of nucleons will be there in the nucleus. So both are having large number of particles. Second similarity is both are homogeneous and incompressible. So what is homogeneous means? In the liquid drop and the nucleus, all the particles are uniformly distributed over the volume. So this means uniform distribution of particles will be there. Uniform distribution of particles will be there in the liquid drop as well as in the nucleus. So all the particles are uniformly distributed over an entire volume, and this nucleus and the liquid drop is incompressible. So both are incompressible. So this is the second similarity that is present between the nucleus and the drop of the liquid. So next similarity is the nuclear mass density is constant throughout its entire volume. So if you consider a liquid drop, this is liquid drop if you consider, and if you consider the nucleus, so nuclear mass density means mass per unit volume. So mass per unit volume is called as a nuclear mass density. So this will be constant over the entire volume. In this entire volume, the mass density will be constant in both the liquid drop as well as in the nucleus. And this nuclear mass density, this is going to drop near the boundary surface, just like a liquid drop. Look at this graph. If you plot the graph of mass density, this mass density versus this radial distance from the center, from the center. So what actually you are going to see is, in the entire volume it is almost constant, mass density is almost constant, and at the boundary it drops to 0. So this is the third similarity. Once again I will repeat, the nuclear mass density is constant over the entire volume and it drops to 0 near the boundary surface. Now we will move for the next similarity. Next similarity is, in a nucleus, nucleons interact strongly only with its nearest neighboring nucleons. In a nucleus, nucleons interact strongly only with the nearest neighboring nucleons. It is similar to a drop of liquid in which the molecules only interact with the neighboring molecules and exchange energy with its nearest neighboring molecules. So now see, if you consider a nucleus is having nucleons nucleons means protons plus neutrons will be there inside the nucleus, and these two together is called as nucleons. So number of nucleons will be present inside the nucleus. So one of the property of the nuclear force is the strongest known force. So this is strongest known force, nuclear force, and it is short range force. So in the nucleus, if you consider number of protons and neutrons, so here there will be a force of attraction between proton proton, proton neutron, and neutron neutron. This why it happens is, this is the strongest force, nuclear force is the strongest force, and this is charge independent. So whether you consider two protons, then two protons, if you consider means the nuclear force present between the two protons, this is strongest one. Why? Because this is strongest, that's why this overcomes the electrostatic force of repulsion between two protons. So two protons are there means they are positively charged. So between two positively charged particles there will be electrostatic force of repulsion, means these two protons should repel. But actually inside the nucleus this is not going to happen. Why? Because the nuclear force which is present inside the nucleus, this is the strongest one, and this nuclear force, this overcomes the electrostatic force of repulsion between the two protons. If you consider two neutrons are electrically neutral, then also a nuclear force comes into existence between the two neutrons, so which holds two neutrons inside the nucleus, and between one proton and neutron there also a strongest nuclear force will be there. So because of that, one proton and a neutron are held together inside the nucleus. This is charge independent and a short range force and the strongest known force. So since this is the strongest one, this overcomes the electrostatic force of attraction between the or a repulsion between the two nucleons. So here actually what happens is, if you consider any nucleon at the center, so this can interact strongly only with its near. This can interact with this because this nucleon is near to the center one, and this also closer to this one, and this also closer, this also closer, and this also closer. In a nucleus, nucleons can interact with the other nucleon which are very close to it, and for this nucleon this is the farthest one. So as compared to this is the farthest one, means it will not interact much strongly with this nucleon because the distance is far. So nuclear forces are the short range forces, so this can interact only with its neighboring nucleon. So this is what happens in this case. Similarly, if you consider a liquid drop, in the liquid drop also the molecules only interact with its neighboring molecules and exchange energy with its nearest neighboring molecule. The same thing happens with the liquid drop also. So next similarity is, both drop of a liquid and the nucleus show surface tension effect. So this similarity explains why the shape of nucleus and liquid drop, the liquid drop is spherical. So this similarity gives regarding the shape of the nucleus. So why it is spherical means, see, if you consider any nucleon exactly at the center, this is going to experience a force with its neighboring nucleons in all the directions. So this is surrounded by number of nucleons, and all the nucleons are uniformly distributed in the entire volume. So if you consider a nucleon that is well inside the nucleus, then this is going to experience force in all the directions. So now if you come to the boundary, at the boundary if you consider any nucleon, this nucleon which is present on the surface, this can experience force only in the downward direction. So all the molecules, all the nucleons or all the liquid drop molecules which are present on the entire surface, they are only going to experience force in the downward direction. So because of this force, this surface is there, this surface is like a spherical. So this surface tension force that exists on the surface of the nucleus or a liquid drop, that brings the shape of the nucleus and the liquid drop spherical. So this is the reason why it is spherical. Both drop of liquid and the nucleus show surface tension effect. Because of this, nucleus, just like a drop of liquid, tends to be spherical in shape in the absence of other forces. If no other forces are acting, if only the surface tension force is there, then the shape of the nucleus is spherical. This is the next similarity. So now we will move for the sixth one, so which is regarding the binding energy. If you consider any liquid drop and if you give an external heat, then what happens? This liquid drop molecule, this is going to be in the vapor state. There the molecule is there, actually here number of molecules are bound in a particular shape, but when you give heat, then what happens? The molecules are going to evaporate. So when you give an external energy, then only this can happen. This is nothing but the evaporation of the liquid molecules. So liquid will evaporate when you give an external energy, then the molecules will be evaporated. So in the similar manner, the same thing that is going to happen with the nucleus. If any external agency or any external energy you give to the nucleus, means what happens here is, this nucleus, this is going to split. So nucleons are split, so when you give an external energy. So original nucleus will not be there. Nucleus consists of nucleons. When you give an external energy, the nucleons won't stay inside the nucleus, they start to come out of the nucleus. So this is by overcoming the binding energy. So some energy that is holding all the nucleons inside this nucleus. Then what happens if you give an external energy, then what happens? All the nucleons, they come out from the nucleus. So the same thing happens as in the case of liquid drop. So when you give heat to the liquid drop, the molecules come out of the liquid and they come to the gaseous state. In the same manner, if an external energy is given to the nucleus, the nucleons come out from the nucleus, then the same thing will be happen with the liquid drop. That is what the binding energy of the nucleus is analogous to the heat of vaporization of the liquid, that is evaporation of molecules from a liquid drop is similar to the loss of nucleons from the nucleus when you provide an external energy. So this is the next similarity. Now we will move towards the last similarity. So what is that is, this is regarding the nuclear, this is regarding nuclear fission and nuclear fusion. Nuclear fission. So how to understand this means, consider two liquid drop molecules. So if you bring two liquid drop molecules very close to each other, means these two molecules will combine and they form a bigger liquid drop molecule. Now if a bigger liquid drop molecule, if this is disturbed, this you can break into two smaller liquid drops. In the first case, two liquid drop molecules, when they are brought close to each other, then what happens? Two liquid drop molecules, they combine and they form the bigger liquid drop molecules. And if you consider a bigger molecule, if you break this molecule, means what happens? You can get two or more number of smaller liquid drops you can get. In the same manner, what happens is, if you consider a nucleus which is heavier one, if you consider any heavy nucleus, if you give an external energy, a heavy nucleus can be break into two lighter nuclei along with the emission of energy. So a heavy nucleus When you disturb this one, then this you can break into two lighter nuclei along with the emission of the energy, and this phenomenon is called as what? Nuclear fission reaction. This is called as nuclear fission reaction, where a bigger nucleus is break into two lighter nucleus along with the emission of the energy, and this is similar with this process where a bigger liquid drop can be break into two lighter liquid molecules. Now the similar thing happens with this is, if you consider two lighter nuclei and if you fuse together, then what you are going to get is one bigger nuclei you are going to get, and this phenomenon is called as nuclear fusion reaction. So nuclear fusion reaction, and this is same as that of this. Two lighter liquid drops can be fused together to get a bigger liquid drop, and here in the nucleus two lighter nuclei are fused together to get the bigger nucleus, and this is called as nuclear fusion reaction. So I hope this is understood. Now here are some assignment questions for you students. So take the questions. First one, give the properties of alpha, beta and gamma radiations. Explain all the properties. Second one is, explain the term range of an alpha particle and the factors affecting the range. Third one is, explain Geiger-Nuttall law graphically. What is neutrino hypothesis and explain it. Fifth one, explain liquid drop model with all the similarities. So now you write all the questions and you upload in the classroom app. Thank you.